So next I'm going to introduce Renne, who is Zinnia Zauber in Second Life, and she's getting her presentation ready. It's on creating authentic integrity in a chord, and I'm very curious to see what this is all about. So looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a speaker, so hopefully that'll help out with some notes as well. Thank you very much for having me here. My topic is creating authentic integrity in a chord. And as I've been introduced, I'm Renne Emiko, and my avatar name is Zinnia Zauber. I'm an artist, instructor, and superhero. So I want to say that my talk's a little different in the fact that instead of searching for the truth, we want to find the truth in individuals and have them be the amazing force out there. So in my younger years, I was a sprinter and loved acceleration. I found that leaping out of the starting blocks is the best way of initiating learning. I teach multimedia communications at Peninsula College on the Olympic Peninsula in Washington. I teach courses online and on campus. We're the only college in the state that have 3 degrees that you can earn entirely online. And of course, I teach in Second Life. So you can imagine that having a presence online is very important. Here's a link to our program in case you want to check it out. And you may have already experienced this presentation. Here's me telling the truth, that I utilized during the Virtual World's Best Practices in Education this year. So my system is about speed, agreement, and being yourself. And you can find this slide deck on my website, so you can check it out. So lead by example. The task and responsibility of creation to bring something into existence, and impression or interpretation others have these creations is not always the same. Truth only exists if 2 observers come to an agreement. And this is what my dad would tell me all the time. So how do we create an honest and empathetic existence online? Our authentic avatars and creations portray integrity and a distinctive reactions. Oops. Let's see. Going a little fast. Accelerated and immediate avatar customization reveals individuality, and the experience of an avatar creation builds allegiance and appreciation with diversity. I'm sure you guys have experienced this, where creating an avatar makes a huge difference in someone's experience online and in the physical world. So there's symmetry, understanding, and the support that thrives when we invest in ourselves and encourage others to do the same. And it's very important for me to have the students be as honest as possible about themselves in class and online. And it also gives them a chance to be able to meter what they experience and see that may be truthful or not truthful. Student agency refers to the power and autonomy that a student experiences while in an educational environment rather than an educator having full control. Some call it student-centered or student-focused learning, where a student, the agent, has an active role in their learning. And I'm sure if you guys experience this, they also learn a lot about inquiry and not always trusting everything. So instructors can empower students through agency with active learning ownership and not ultimate authority. They can build facilitating lessons prior to entering virtual situations with surprising personal investigation, mood board creations, and character sketches. and develop education buy-in through accelerated and immediate avatar customization to reveal individuality and unlimited potential. And use reflective exercise to reveal how this experience exposes their real investment in themselves. So I want you to think about that this is gut reaction, first blush responses. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Gentle, for helping along. And are you mad at me? I just read that slide. The external reflects and informs the unobserved internal motives. Often the invisible is overlooked or covered up because of the educator's designs and desires. These are lessons that expedite and reveal students' interest and a means to motivate them through avatar creation. So I have exploration of easy insect avatars, inquiry about personal branding, develop mood boards and sketches, creation and customization of authentic avatars, journey journals and documentation, reflective blog essays. The physical versus virtual. So you can see there's a picture of me in the physical world. And I explain to students there can be differences and similarities between the physical and virtual. Like my avatar looks like my physical self, and I often wear the same outfits. I design my own fabric, make and sell art apparel as my business, Who Are You? And you can see this is a picture of me at the New Medium Consortium with my pirate hat. I design my own virtual clothing, make and sell apparel and goods as my business, Who Are You, at my gallery here in Second Life. In the physical world, I have two cats, Iki and Insu, who are sisters, and they're named after Japanese aesthetics about being unique and united. Whereas I have over 80 virtual cats who are named after scientific principles, elements, shapes, and colors in several different languages. Yes, I know, it's horrible, but my students love them, and it's great fun. I have a strict code that I only do monochromatic cats, black, white, and gray. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm an artist, and I have a master's in fine art and visual art, and my thesis was called Unique as Well as United. And I'm going to go through some of these real quick, just so you can see. These are images of some of my sculptures from the Building Blocks series, and they are the same colors made of different materials. Each block tells its own story with themes of apparel and identity. My research and thesis was about the power of color communication and the evolution of human intelligence, artists, and superheroes. It was about understanding motivation and to strive to be our best selves in action and intent, to reveal how our external and internal motives are expressed and executed. So I love to work in systems, and I devise visuals to educate. So you may have seen these diagrams in some of my exhibits or presentations and other conferences. They're about motivation and the external and internal factors. And I'm just going to flip through them real quick, so just enjoy those colors. And I remind you that you can find these slides, thank you, Gentle, you can find my slides on my website, so you'll get to enjoy them a little bit more. Okay, exploration of easy instinct avatars. So your avatar is a visual representation of you and your professional reputation. Your avatar must communicate your enthusiasm, credibility, and genuine motivation. Trusting their own judgment, making clothing, clothes, and color choices, gear, and settings reveals gut decisions on how they wish to be recognized by the instructor and classmates. So there's tons of fun ways that students can start off with a really quick and customized avatar to represent themselves. So you can see some examples here. I got my Powerpuff one, my South Park one, my Lego minifig, and then a picture of myself in several virtual worlds at the same time. Val was with me in that one. Since we're pirates at Peninsula College, I use the pirate avatar creator, and you can see there's all kinds of color choices and everything. And then you can see how my students have created all kinds of unique pirate avatars. No one's the same. Okay, so then the next one is inquiry about personal branding. And in my courses, this is one of the first assignments as a way for students to demonstrate their research skills and introduce themselves. And I need to let you guys know that this is all happening within the first week of class. And it's a way for me to introduce myself as well, so I provide examples. Yeah, absolutely. See, Pirate Day happens before our classes start, so we totally miss that. So I provide some examples for them. So I'll go through these really quick. So I asked them to introduce themselves and express how they would define success related to class or Peninsula College, and this actually helps us have a better understanding about them. So for example, I give mine, and then I ask them, do you know the definition of your first, middle, or last names? And most of them don't know that. Mine, Renne, is Scottish for small but strong. Emiko, my middle name, means smiling child, and Brock means badger, as into bug. And do you know your birth sign? So that could be any, birth sign associated with any different kind of faith, culture, and numbers. And then I ask them what their 3 cherished colors are. And since my work's about color communication, this is important to find out what motivates them, what describes them, and inspires them. Okay, and then of course I ask them what their favorite animal is and how they relate to that. Mine's the cheetah. Now your own biases and interests might help guide what questions you want to give students and how you respond to your students' answers. So obviously I'm a little on the geeky side. This is a picture of me with Douglas Adams, who I'm a huge fan of. And so after the students give me their answers, I create their own towels. And they utilize these towels as their headers for their blogs that they create. I'm catching myself up here. We have a lot of fun with it. And then surprisingly, some students are even more colorful. You can see this student here. See his little kitty? He's got an adventure kitty with his pirate and an adventure kitty when he's out there in the real world. And then here's another student who is way more colorful in person than his actual avatar. And Buffy, everyone agreed this is totally your outfit. Oh, you need that one too? Excellent. I'm going to have to get all the resources for everyone so you can get them. Aren't they amazing? Okay, so the next thing I have them do real quick is develop their mood boards and sketches. And so the mood board can be a visual collection that inspires brainstorming, and we spend a lot of time, having them do those. And then I also try to develop a space within virtual space that they can work on it. And you can see some of their mood boards are in this image. Sometimes these mood boards could be called vision boards as well. And you can do them really fast. Again, this is all about just getting some colors down, getting some words. You can cut up some magazines and so forth. And so, as I said, I built studios and galleries for the students to display their work. And these are some examples of my mood boards from my vision books. There's a cheetah. And then here's another one. Now, two of the stumbling blocks that students run into is performance perfection and fear of negative judgment skills. And so we try really hard to make it an encouraging and loose format and make it really action-packed and fast for them. So you can see here's a sketch of what the student's going to build for a project, and then they get several different swatches that they'll be utilizing. And then you can see here how the speed helps suspend the apprehension that they have. And they've created their project. And they also learn that everyone wants them to learn to succeed, and that it's better to do something than nothing. The next thing we get into is creation and customization of the authentic avatars. Prior to entering the virtual educational environment, I have my students write about the concept of dress for success. And since they've been working with colors and images to express themselves, this works a little easier. The next thing they do is write about a film or TV show or a game world that they admire that contains objects that are unique to that world and explain why they like the way it looks. Then they have to write about what they want to appear in world. They sketch out ideas of apparel and give a sense of what tribe they belong to, or culture or status or personality. I make them custom clothing based on their writing and sketches, and once in the virtual world, they document their avatar's evolution. So this is an example of one of the students' evolution. You can see her with a starter avatar, and then she starts finding some additional clothing, and then I made her a jacket and jeans, and you can see those swatches there. She's, picked out the different colors she likes, and then she told me how much she likes 8-bit games, so I made her jeans have an 8-bit design. I also give them linen dollars, so if they want to create their own look by shopping, they can do that. So many of them are very creative and have a clear vision of what they want. And then their desire to step out of those starter avatars, it comes real quick. And they like to show their adventurous side, and they want to learn to make their own apparel right away. And so here's one student who told me that she wanted to be like Laura Croft, but with pants with lots of pockets. And then she decided she wanted a jacket that was super colorful, and she designed her own pattern of the tie-dye and made the jacket. Yeah. And then you can also see that, like night and day, there are also some that are not so invested in what their avatar looks like, and then others who take a little more reflective approach. So I'm showing you how their little starter avatar looks compared to their avatar in Second Life. And the one with the beard, he was really happy his avatar could be barefoot, just like he likes to be. And then we have our journey journals and documentation. So the students are encouraged to have a journey journal that they can document their process, including their personalized research and unique designs. They reveal how mood boards and sketches become thoughtful application of ideas and engagement. Through field trips and shopping and working on in-world projects, the students document people, places, and their skill progress. Each journey journal is unique. Screenshots and snapshots while in world and working on assignments are collected and curated in virtual galleries and in their web portfolios. A blank page can be terrifying or inspiring. It just depends on the student's perspective and the freedom to doodle and dream. Achievement happens when students work and play together. We make fun of ourselves all the time, and we laugh a lot in class. We've been actually practicing the thriller dance a lot in Second Life, and I want us to do it in real life. We take a lot of fun pictures while we're doing stuff. We do Tai Chi also on the beach. So I like to have them lead adventures and choose where they want to explore. And like last night, I asked Beth if she could tell me which steampunk places we could go because the students have decided we're going to be steampunk pirates on our project. So the students work as teams and they share what they have photographed and learn. And you can see these guys, how they have their starter avatars and how they make modifications to them. And you can see that it looks like the Cylons may have gotten a hold of that guy, so now he's just a skeleton. Okay. And then they have their reflective blog essays. So in all my classes, my students are required to have a WordPress blog for their e-portfolio and where they publish their weekly blog posts. So all their assignments are posted on these as well. I provide a topic for their blog essays each week that they might relate to our reading, media assignments, or inquiry about the impact of their work has on the world. So that idea of responsibility as media creators. It helps giving them a subject like a treasure map as a quest invite. They demonstrate how a virtual experience relates to an actual physical passion while teaching them something new and surprising about themselves. So this is an example of a student who came in World, and she was so excited when she found out that she could get a motorcycle in Second Life just like one she has in real life. Often those blog posts contain meaningful and heartfelt stories. They enhance the experience we all get to, and we get to enjoy their wake. What happens quite often is because we do this experience using an avatar, sometimes it's a little easier for the students to talk about themselves almost like through a third-person perspective. And there are times where I cry when I read some of these things the students write about. Amazing, insightful revelations about the students' motivation via their avatar development are posted in their blogs. And here's another picture of them. So hurry up. They welcome you to join you. So one of the things that we do quite often is have the students, share their work, not just, with their classmates, but through social media so the whole world can explore it. And in many respects, they're kind of a vehicle for all of us, that they're bringing it out there to see what we're doing and to have them understand that they're honest in their process and they are creatures of integrity online. So, you are never lost when you are looking to find yourself and discover what makes you tick. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to go fast so I could be sure if you guys had any questions, I might be able to answer them.
Does anyone have any questions for Zinnia? And then we also still have Kay here, so if anybody has questions on the first presentation as well, you're welcome to ask. You can put them into the chat area or just speak up.
Do I think if any of my students stay in Second Life after the class is in? Let me give you a couple examples. So I had one student very early on that came in World and worked with me, and then she kind of disappeared for a little while. And I would see her come in World, she'd be out of my class then, and she'd come in every once in a while for a little bit, and then go away, and come in a little bit and go away. And I finally got to see her in person. I get to engage with a lot of my students online and in person. And she told me that when she finished the class, she had actually found out that she had cancer. And we live on a remote peninsula, and she had to go into Seattle, which is 2 hours away from where we live, for treatment. And while she was dealing with the treatment, she was staying in her RV there in Seattle. And in order to cope with being away from things and not feeling like she had a support group, she actually came into Second Life in order to find a cancer support group. So she was able to utilize the space in a different way, and that was really special. Yeah. I had another student who actually had taken, my classes and did, amazing machinima work and everything, but she really wanted to get into programming, and so she transferred to another school, but stayed in Second Life, and she continued to be a nice mentor for my students. And eventually she got so connected in Second Life, now she's paying for her school by DJing in Second Life. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. And then I had another student who did a lot of work with me in Second Life, helping curate the different gallery spaces and projects. And he got so much confidence in being able to do that, he did a special study project with me where he learned how to do pop-up galleries. And so he was able to invite students who don't normally get exhibited in our Arts Week, and did a pop-up gallery and exposed audiences to these students, and he curated and marketed everything. All these things that he got to do in Second Life, he got to do in the physical world to support these other artists, and several of them sold out all of their work. It was amazing. And he continues to work in Second Life too.
So Zinnia, what type of classes do you teach? Are they 3-credit classes, all semester classes, or how does that work?
So I teach mostly 5-credit classes, and there'll be video classes, digital storytelling classes, web design classes, social media marketing. Actually, Val co-teaches that class with me. And so like my digital storytelling classes also include data visualization, 3D design. I also teach other classes that are like community classes, and that's one way I've also introduced Second Life to a lot of people that normally wouldn't have gotten into that environment because they're not taking for credit classes. And I teach color theory as well.